Greater, I'm sorry, there was some kind of update happening in Zoom app, so I got disconnected. So I'm going to there was some kind of update. I don't know what update it was about from Zoom something. So it got disconnected. So I'm going to continue with Madam Rides the Bus. If you look at it, you can see how the conductor is addressing the girl. He calls her Madam. Now, if you can connect to the title, it says Madam Rides the Bus. So who's this Madam? Now you can clearly figure out that it is none other than the 8-year-old girl Wali, who is addressed Madam by the conductor. Now, why is the conductor calling her Madam? After all, she's just an 8-year-old girl, a small little girl. He can just call her by name, or you can just address her like in a very loving way, but in a very formal kind of tone. And if you notice, it is stated that the conductor was a joking kind of jolly go fellow, and he is very sarcastically saying Madam, because the way she behaves, she's just an 8-year-old girl. She's able to stop the bus, then she does not want any help to get onto the bus. She just says, I got the money, all these things. So a kind of a person who's kind of a little too matured for her age, and she's a very independent child. She's going on her own, she's trying to travel on her own. So all these things, if you look at it, now you can have a clear-cut picture of why the title says Madam Rides the Bus. So I'm going to continue there. So never mind, she said, I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me. The conductor was a jolly kind of person, fond of joking. Oh, please, don't be angry with me, my fine madam, he said. Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody move aside, please. Make way for madam. So he's a very sarcastic person, jolly go fellow. He's trying to make fun of this girl, but with all respect, trying to call her madam and stuff. And so he makes sure he gets her a seat. So it was the slack time day, not a very busy part of the day. And there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. Sometimes, the buses are crowded when it is, office time, when people are traveling to office, usually in the morning time, 7 to 9. And then in the evenings, when people are returning home, probably from 5 to 7. After that, in between, in the afternoon time, it's not very crowded, because only a few people, like people who are going shopping, or people who are, visiting somebody, only those kind of people would be traveling. So this part of the day, she planned her travel in the afternoon. So this part of the day was not a very busy day, and so there were not many passengers on the bus. So there were only 6 or 7 passengers. They were all looking at Wali and laughing with the conductor. So the way she stopped the bus, the way she said, she wants to go travel, and the way she said she did not want any help to get onto the bus. So all the people were very excited that a small little girl was responding that way, and they were also laughing. And the way the conductor was talking to her, treating her, all the other passengers were enjoying the little drama happening there. Wali was overcome with shyness. She knew everybody was watching her, okay? Avoiding everyone's eyes, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. So she just wanted to avoid everybody's, eyes on her. So she rushed and she sat down. May we start now, madam? So the conductor is asking her for permission to start the bus. May we start now, madam? So are you comfortable? Are you seated? Can I tell the driver to start? The conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew his whistle twice, and the bus moved forward with a roar. So, with a loud noise, the bus moved when the conductor blew the whistle. It was a new bus. Its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes along the side. So, the bus is being described. It was kind of shining. It was a new bus, and it had lines, stripes of green, on the sides. Inside the overhead bars shone like silver. So where you hold the bars to balance yourself, to stand, to hold for support you hold. So those bars were all shining. So it was probably a new bus. That's all. All right. So Directly in front of Wally, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. So the bus is being described as a clock. The seats are very nice, comfortable. Vali devoured everything with her eyes. Devour means you eat, whatever you have, you eat greedily. Now, for this girl, she's devouring with her eyes, meaning she does not want to lose the chance she has got. The opportunity she's got, she wants to look at everything. So she's looking at everything with a lot of eagerness, with a lot of she's very particular to look at everything. So she's devouring with her eyes. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of a window. So she stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. So from the window, there was a part of the window which was covered. She was not able to look out, clearly. And she's a small girl, so she was not able to look, over the blinds. The window was, it was probably had a cover. So she tried to stand up and look outside. Now, what will happen if you stand on the seat when the bus is traveling? You have the chances of falling out, or for some other the other side of the bus or the vehicles traveling on the other side can hit you. There can be an accident. Okay, so the bus was now going along the bank of a canal. The road was very narrow. On one side, there was a canal, and beyond it, palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, and the blue, blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch, and then acres and acres of green fields, green, 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 as far as the eyes could see. Oh, it was all so wonderful. Suddenly, she was startled by a voice. "Listen, child," said the voice. "You shouldn't stand like that. Sit down." So now she's so excited that she's traveling. She's looking everywhere, all around, and she can see, the water bodies, the mountains, everything around, the fields. Okay? And somebody there is shouting at her, "See, you shouldn't be standing like that. Sit down." So, sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her, but she was annoyed by his attention. No, old people, they're very concerned about others. So he did not want her to, be hit by another vehicle or by, the plants, when the bus is moving. So he was very concerned, but she did not like his concern. He was an elderly man, okay? So, "There is nobody here who's a child," she said, haughtily, very angry. "I've paid by 30 paisa like everyone else. So don't treat me like a baby. I've paid for my fare." The conductor chimed in. So he came, into the conversation. "Oh, sir, but this is a very grown-up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone?" So, the conductor, how he was treating her. So he's telling the elderly man, "Oh, she's not a small child. She's paid her fare." Okay, very sarcastic, of course. Bully shot an angry glance at the conductor and said, "I am not a madam. Please remember that. And you've not yet given me my ticket." So she's very concerned about her part. "Don't call me madam, and I want my ticket," she says. "I'll remember," the conductor said, mimicking her tone. So the way she spoke, same kind of tone he used back to her. And he said, I remember to give you the ticket. Okay, and I'll remember that you're not a madam, all right? So because she says, "I'm not the madam, please remember that," okay? Everyone laughed, and gradually Valli too joined in the laughter. So she also could not stop laughing. She also joined laughing, joined in the laughter with the others. She also started laughing with the others. The conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her. So he took a ticket, gave it to her. "Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand up when you've paid for a seat?" So he's tackling her in her own way. So you've paid for your seat, so why to stand? You've paid your fare, so use your authority and be seated. Your right is to get a seat, so sit down. "Because I want to," she answered, standing up again. So she says, "You cannot stop me. I have all right to do what I wish to. I've paid my fare, so I want to stand and come. But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn or hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child." "I am not a child, I tell you," she said irritably. "I am 8 years old." Of course, of course. How stupid of me. 8 years, my." The bus stopped. Some new passengers got in, and the conductor got busy for a time, afraid of losing a seat. Valli finally sat down. So she did not like anybody telling her anything. Okay, she thought she was grown up enough, but others know that she's just an 8-year-old girl, and they tried to help her, but she did not like all that attention. But finally, she thought somebody would come and sit, so she sat down. An elderly woman came and sat beside her. Now, this is a woman now, an old woman. She comes and sits next to her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Valli as the bus started again. Valli found the woman absolutely repulsive. She did not like her at all. Such big holes she had in her earlobes. Old ladies, how big the ears, they wear such big earrings, almost dropping out, hanging earlobes, okay, all that. And such ugly earrings in them. And she could smell the beetle nuts the woman was chewing and see the beetle juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Who could be sociable with such a person? So even though she was a small girl, she did not like this woman with all the beetle nut in her mouth, juice coming over, almost about to come over. She didn't like all that. So she did not like this old lady who came and sat next to her. Yes, I'm traveling alone. She's answered curtly, she does not like answering this lady. She shows it in the way she answers her. And I've got a ticket too. So I've got a ticket and you don't have to worry about me. I know what I'm doing. Yes, she's on her way to town, said the conductor, with a 30 paisa ticket. So the conductor again barges into the conversation and he says, yes, she's got her ticket, okay? Oh, why don't you mind your own business, said Valli. But she laughed all the same, and the conductor laughed too. By now she has got used to the conductor. But the old woman went on with her drivel. So, is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you're going in town? What is the street? What is the house number? So, you know how old people are, they are so concerned about the youngsters. So this lady keeps asking so many different questions, which Valli is not very happy about. You needn't bother about me. I can take care of myself, Valli said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. But just to stop asking me questions. I have my own work to do. No, I'm minding my business, you mind yours. That's the attitude, okay, that Valli conveys there. Shows to the old woman. So part 3, I'm going on. You stop, read part 1, part 2, and then continue with part 3. Her first journey, what careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. Had to make for it. Past perfect tense. Had, helping verb, plus another had, the main verb. Okay. So she had made a lot of different plans. She did a lot of things to get ready for this particular travel, this one particular journey. So then she's on the bus. She's very happy. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way. So she was very careful whenever she got some money, whoever gave her some money, or whenever she could get money from her mother or whoever gave it to her, she saved it very carefully. Resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she had saved a total of 60 paise. Now, I told you, children usually, when you get money, you try to buy whatever things you like to. For this girl, she wanted to have this bus ride, so she sacrificed. To her, it was a sacrifice. She stopped. She did not buy toys. She did not buy balloons. She did not buy whatever eatables, peppermints. No, nothing. She just resisted all that, and she saved this money to go on this bus ride. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. So, when you go out and you are attracted to something, you always long to do it. And especially when you have money, you'd like to do it. But she had the money, but she resisted going on the merry-go-round. The merry-go-round, going round and round, the giant wheel, merry-go-round. You have all these things in the fair. So even though she had the money, she preferred going, traveling on the bus. So she did not go on the merry-go-round. She did not want to waste her money on that. She wanted to save it and go on the bus ride. So this question is a repeated question. Okay, so underline that part. How did she save money? Okay. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. Now, she cannot tell her mother she wants to go on the bus. So how did she manage to come out quietly without her mother noticing? But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. So from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, her mother would go for a short nap, a short sleep. Bunny always used these hours for her excursion. So that was the time Bunny would go out and explore. She would do whatever she wished to because her mother did not know what was happening, what she was doing because she was sleeping. So Bunny always used these hours for her excursions as she stood looking from the doorway of her house or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. So why did she plan her trip in the afternoon time? This was the reason. She knew her mother would be asleep for 3 hours. So those 3 hours she could use to do whatever she wished to, go out, stand in the doorway, whatever. And today she was using it to take her bus ride. The bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape, B-A-R-E, an empty landscape. Now rushing through a tiny hamlet, a small village, a place, or past an odd wayside shop. And some people, vendors on the way, on the side of the road. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. It was like almost, the bus was so fast, like it was almost going to hit somebody who was coming in the way. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly. For her, she's watching the bus, she's enjoying this trip. So it looked like the bus would hit somebody on the way. But somehow the bus was carrying on without doing that thing, without hitting anything. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. So it did not hit anywhere or anything. It went on safely. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there, helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. To her, it looked like the trees were running, stopped when the bus stopped, came running from the other direction and running back in the opposite direction when the bus moved on. So these are all the things that she was watching and experiencing. Okay, this is all very simple, children. It's very simple language. Okay. Suddenly, Bunny clapped her hands with glee. Now, what excited her? Why was she clapping her hands? A young cow, tall, high in the air, was running very fast, right in the middle of the road. So she was excited to see this cow running, okay, in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed down, so it was very slow, like it was crawling. And the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. Now, you cannot, of course, hit a cow. You have to wait for it to pass by or make way for you. So the conductor was honking loudly. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became. And the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. So she was very excited to see this animal. It was, scared of the honking, that was happening. And it was frightened. So it was running up still right in front of the bus. It was not giving way for the bus to move on. Somehow this was very funny to Wally. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. Usually, when you laugh, a lot, you have tears in your eyes. Hey, lady, haven't you laughed enough? Called the conductor. But to save some for tomorrow. So, the conductor, always very, bothered about Wally. So he's like, hey, come on, you can have some laugh for tomorrow. Save it up, he says. At last, the cow moved off the road. So finally, the cow went off. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. So, as soon as the bus came to a rail crossing, so there was a rail crossing, railway, where the train passes by. Usually, we stop, wait for the signals, wait for the bar to be taken off for you to go past the railroad, the route of the train. So, when she saw the bus came, stopped there, and the train moved, she could see the train moving. All these things are exciting for a kid. Okay, so then it rushed past the crossing gate. The train went by with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. When not only the train, when another car overtakes your vehicle itself, there's a kind of a tremor, a shake. So that was exactly what she experienced when the train went by. All right. The bus itself, looked like the bus was shaking. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there, it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and entered a wider thoroughfare. So it's entering the town, a big busy place. Okay. So when you come to the railway station, naturally it's a town part, and then you want the busy road. So she understands that she has reached the town. Such big, bright looking shops. So in the town, she did not, in the village, she did not have such big shops. Now she's looking at these shops and she's wondering, wow, so big, the shops are so bright, well lit. What glittering displays of clothes and other merchandise. Such big crowds, so much merchandise, so many people are walking about in and out. There is a lot of busy business happening, all that. So she's watching all this very eagerly. Struck dumb with wonder. So like that, she's wonderstruck. Okay, Bunny gaped at everything. She's staring at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Bunny. Hey lady, you remember she planned to be seated in the bus and come back, on the same bus. So she sat there, okay? Hey lady, said the conductor. Okay, so then the bus stopped, everyone got off except Valli. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paisa takes you. So this is the last stop. So you should be getting off the bus here. Aren't you getting off? No, Ollie said, I'm going back on the same bus. So she's telling him, no, I'm going to get back to my village on the same bus. She took another 30 paisa from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. So she took the money out. Here, there's your fare. I'm going back to my village on the same bus. Why? Is something the matter? So he's wondering why this girl came so far and she wants to get back. No, nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. So I just wanted to come on the bus. I have come on my ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? So he's saying, you are in town. Don't you want to go around and see what is happening here? All by myself? Oh, I'd be much too afraid. Now there comes a little person, but there also you can say she's very precautious. She's very careful about her safety. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, so he was excited. Such a small girl to speak with so much of sense. The conductor said, but you weren't afraid to come in the bus. You came in this bus, but you're scared to go out. But he also understands, she's careful. Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. Well then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Well then, let me bring you a cold drink. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, okay? And that's all. It'll be my treat and not cost you anything. No, she said firmly. Please, no. The conductor shrugged and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there went many passengers. So here, the conductor is amused by the way this girl is responding, by the way she's talking. And he also understands that she wanted to have this ride and she did not have money to even take a small little drink. So he was excited about her. And there you see, he's offering her a drink, but she doesn't take it. Now she's very careful, Probably her parents have taught her not to take things from strangers. So she's using that there. So you can see, you have to put in whatever you have learned into practice. When it is time, that is what matters. Not just listening, but putting it into action. That is what matters. So I'm going on to part 4. You can stop, take a break, read through 1, 2, and 3, and then continue with my part 4. So I'm going on with part 4. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. So now they're going back to the village. So he's wondering whether the mother whether the mother would be bothered about her absence, Wally's absence from home. No one will be looking for me, she said. She knew her mother was sleeping, okay? The bus started and again they were the same wonderful sights. Again back home, she's watching the same sights, that the things that she saw on her way to town. Wally wasn't bored in the slightest. Why? Because she was longing for this, That is why when you take interest and do things, it is very easy and it is interesting. And so you do things much faster. Much, quicker than usual. The same thing, when you are interested in learning, you learn it faster. But when you're not, you don't learn it all. So this is what it is. When you're interested, you have to create that interest. You have to have self-motivation for that interest to come. So that is when you're interested, things will happen very fast. So this girl, she was very happy and so she was not bored, okay? And greeted everything with the same excitement. So when she went, she saw it. But when she came back, it was the second time. But she was not bored at all. She was so happy. She was so interested. And so everything was, very exciting for her. So, and but suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside. When she went to town, she saw the cow running. Now she sees a dead cow, okay, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. So, how did that cow die? Probably it was hit by a vehicle which was moving very fast. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. So she identifies that it was the same cow, okay? The conductor nodded and she was overcome with sadness. So he said yes, and she was very upset. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread-eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So now here, you remember she was laughing and clapping her hands when she saw the cow running in front of the bus. But now here, she's very sad that she sees the the cow lying dead, and blood covering its body, and it's just thrown there. So she's so sad about this. See, life can just change in a second. Again, we have to learn that. All right. So, all right, the bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her. It was troubling her a lot, dampening her enthusiasm. So her joy, it was draining her. That sight of the dead cow was draining her out of her happiness. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. She sat thus, glued to a seat, until the bus reached her village at 3:40. So now, she is very upset over the cow, so she just sat stuck to her seat. She did not look out. Finally, she reaches her village, which is 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. When you get up, stretching yourself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." So she said, "I might come back for another ride." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your fare." So because she's madam, don't forget to bring your fare. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. So she went straight back home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Wally's aunts. So somebody has come home, okay? The one from the South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, keeps talking a lot, and she's from the South Street, so Wally knows her. Never closing her mouth once she started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Wally came in. Now the mother didn't ask, the aunt is asking her. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. Simply just like that, she's talking. She didn't actually mean to ask Wali where she was or where she had been, okay, where she was coming from. So Wali just smiled. She didn't want to disclose her secret. She just smiled. And her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. Okay. "Yes, you're right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we?" "Oh yes," breathed Wali. So many things are happening. Even Wali's trip, was unnoticed by the mother. So naturally, so many things are happening, and people don't know everything. So Wali laughs there. So what asked her mother? "What is that you say?" Because she says, "Oh yes," and she breathed a sigh of relief probably. "So what's that you said?" "Oh," said Wali, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge." So actually, it is her personal experience, and she knew her mother did not know about her ride. That was why she was agreeing with what her mother said. Okay, but she did not want to disclose the matter to her mother. "Just a chit of a girl." "Okay," she is, said her aunt. "And yet, look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Usually our parents tell us, when elders are talking, don't speak. But those are manners. So that is being pointed out by the aunt. Bunny smiled to herself because she knows what exactly happened and what her mother knows and what she does not know. She didn't want them to understand her smile. But then, there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So even if she smiled, nobody's going to understand because they did not know that she was out on a trip. So that's the end of the lesson. Madam rides the bus. So what I want you to do is tell me how she saved money for a trip. How much did she have to save? What are the temptations that she had to resist to save this money, her fare for her up and down travel? And how did she plan her trip? Why did she plan it in the afternoon? what were the things that she saw on her way to town. All these things are the repeated questions. So I would like you to read through, underline the main parts of the lesson, and also answer the repeated questions and my questions that I've just given you, as well as the ones in the notes that I am going to send you probably in a day or two. Thank you.